Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's Mike here at Gamefromscratch, and when it comes to real-time global illumination, Unreal Engine has Lumen, Godot has SDFGI, or Signed Distance Field Global Illumination, and Unity has... well, Unity doesn't have anything. But that is about to change. Along with this is another change I absolutely love. It has a new command line interface, so I don't have to use the hub at all. Mwah. But what you need to do is make sure that you have 6000.7, also known as Unity 6.7, installed. Currently available in alpha version. Make sure you have that because that is where this functionality was added. And then what we're going to need to do is go ahead and create a project. So like this. We'll call it GI, and we will make it from the template com.unity.template.erp blank. By the way, you don't need to use the command line for this stuff. If you like using the hub, keep using the hub. But the key thing here is you need to make sure that your project is a URP project because this is only implemented in URP, which, by the way, is yet another sign that even though they haven't said that it's deprecated, HDRP is as good as toast. All right, so we'll let this create. All right, now our project is created. All we need to do is open it. All right, there we go. So again, the key thing here is you got to be using Unity 6.7, currently available in alpha form. And I hope as they mature this, they make the install process a lot easier because setting this up is what I like to call in the biz a pain in the butt. All right, so I don't know why you opened up off screen. All right, so here is our project. Now, in order to show you this, I'm gonna need something to show you on screen. In this case, I'm going to actually use a scene pre-created. You see over here, Bundle Foundry have the unlimited Unity environment bundle going on. So if you are a Unity developer and you wanna get a number of pre-made environments ready to go, do consider checking this out. Use my link down below. It does help support the channel, but what I'm going to be using is this one right here, this Japanese mountain temple, as our test bed. So we need to go ahead and install that. So let's just go up here, package manager, my assets, and then Japanese. So, and it's Japanese temple. And we're just gonna go ahead, import that into our project. Again, make sure you are using the URP version. This does not work on the built-in pipeline and does not work under the HDRP either. So, what I'm going to do is come in here, turn HDRP off, and then turn URP on, and we'll go ahead and import that in. And then finally, we need to just go to that asset. Wouldn't it be lovely once we have just one standard pipeline? It is coming. It is going to be here, Unity 7. I look forward to it. But here, we now have project up and going. I'll go ahead and load this up off screen so you don't have to watch the shader compilation process. All right, so here we go. This is our scene, a mountain temple environment, everything like this. I do find it has far too much fog for my liking. I'm just going to quickly change that out. So just go to rendering, lighting, environment, fog, and let's turn that down to like 0 fog. Actually, you know what? Let's just turn it off. All right, so fog is off. We'll let the shader recompile. And I think that looks better, but it's better for showing a lighting example. So here we go. The default, and the area I really want you to focus on is back here, because what Global Illumination does is it captures secondary bounces of lighting, and it's going to be very profound in this scene. It's why I went ahead and chose this particular scene. Now we need to go through the setup process, and I'm not going to lie to you, this is a pain in the butt. This, hopefully when this comes out of beta, they get this sorted out and it becomes a lot easier because this is way too much work. So right now what you need to do is you come into project settings and then you go to player and then come on all the way down to other settings. So let's find other settings. Like right here, this category, and then we want to go and find the script define. So scripting define symbols, and we need to do is add one. And then here we put in the word surface underscore cache like that, and enter, and then apply. So now we've added that in. That one is required. Another thing you need to do, because it doesn't play well together, is you need to turn off static batching, which is also here. So let's go find that, static batching, and turn that off right there. Again, this process is way too convoluted. Next, they recommend turning on always refresh for graphics in the viewport, like so. And then if you want to use surface cache, you need to go to your universal render data asset. So that is available for this particular example in settings. I believe it is this one right here. So there is our asset. And now what we need to do is turn on add override, come here, search for surface cache global illumination, like so, and then you want that in. We're going to come back and turn this one back on in just a second because we also need to go to our volume control, our volume in the scene. So we've already got one created right here. Add override. And then again, here, lighting, surface cache global illumination, and you turn it on right there. So again, you come back into your asset over here for the URP setup, and you make sure that it is turned on. So right here, we click enable, turn that on right there. And then in our probe, we're going to enable it as well over here. So I think we've got every step. So now let us see the results. So here again, this is with the standard lighting setup, like so, and especially back here. Now let's go ahead and turn that on. And we now have theoretically enabled it. So it should be enabled there, should be enabled elsewhere. All right. Actually, no, one more step here. Again, way too much involved. You also have to go here to your data here, your universal render data, and you turn it on here as a render feature as well. Like I said, this process is way, way, way too complicated as a setup process. But there you can immediately see the results. So there, now that everything is set up and going, you're seeing the secondary light bounces in the scene. So again, here, let's do a quick. So this is with it on. So this is with the new global illumination system enabled. And now let's go back to our volume over here, and let's turn it off like so. And wait, and wait, and wait. So this is going to update. So this is what it looks like with it off. Again, just pay attention to the shadowing here and the shadowing back there. That's where the secondary light bounces are coming in. With the new global illumination system turned on, there you can see the results. And again, where it's most profound is back here, where like literally no light under the current situation is even getting into this space. And now let's turn it back on like so. And now you're going to see the secondary bounces of light coming into those spaces there. So when you've got this set up, the nice thing here is in the world of real-time global illumination, you no longer need reflection probes. Obviously, you don't need light map baking or anything else. It is all being calculated on the fly. And it's being encoded into the surface details of it, which is how this is ultimately working. I don't particularly understand the math, but we'll go through that in just a second. But again, the technology itself is great. Again, this is an alpha version. There are definitely some limitations, but I do think you're getting more realistic and natural lighting, especially, like I said, it really shows up behind over here, where before it was getting literally no lighting, and now it's getting those secondary bounces off other surfaces and giving you a more realistic lighting that you normally have to bake in the past, but this is dynamic. So if you move things around, it will still work correctly, which is the nice thing about a dynamic program. Setting this up, way too complicated. Having to come into, so again, you have to come to your universal render pipeline render asset and enable it there. You have to turn it on in the universal render data there. You have to turn it on in the volume over here. And you also have to configure it over here in the project settings under the player. Have to add that scripting defined symbol of surface cache. Hopefully that goes away because this is way too much. It should literally be a click box, click, tap here, and then turn it on. Right now, it is a pretty convoluted setup, but hopefully I showed you step by step everything you need to know to go ahead and see it. And then once again, let's go look at the results. So there, you can see it, real-time lighting calculations in that environment. So get down and in it. Like, that's what you get with it on. And let's quickly, again, turn it off. And then this is the lighting that you would get in that area otherwise. Again, you might see some artifacting and such. Again, this is an alpha feature. So until Unity 6.7 fully ships, expect there to be some limitations. It also doesn't work correctly with some emissive surfaces and so on. We'll look at that again in just 1 second. But I'm going to see there is what you get with it off. So you get an idea of how profound the lighting differences are with this real-time global illumination. It is nice to see them having added this feature. So once again, if you're interested in picking up the environment asset that we used for this demo, it is available here on Bundle Foundry for, like say 10 more days, 11 more days after this video goes up. But what we were talking about today is Unity Surface Cache GI. This is again in beta format right now. This will walk you through everything we just went with, and here you can see how it is ultimately being encoded. There's also some debugging tools that you can actually see how these patches are created, but basically it is encoding, they say 5D, so all the positions as well as the directions into a finite number number of patches mapping surface positions and normal direction pairs within the volume into a unique patch index. The size of these patches changes based on the distance from the camera. So the farther away from the camera, the fewer patches you are going to see. And that is where the lighting information is encoded. You do have the ability to turn it on so you can see those patches. If you're interested in doing that, by the way, that is available in the universal render data part of this configuration. Head on down here, you can see, you can turn debugging on right here. And I think this, again, does a shader execution. I'm not 100% certain how long this is going to take, but it's going to take a second. And then there you can see the patches where that lighting data for global illumination is encoded throughout the scene. So that is where all the lighting information is actually being held using Surface Cache Global Illumination. So you could turn that on right there. By the way, at the same time, you can also come in here to the Universal Render Pipeline asset itself. And this is where the majority of your major settings are going to be. So you're going to notice, come on down where you enabled it. Once I find it, where did it go? I think I skipped right by it. Right here, Surface Cache Global Illumination. You'll also see you've got a bunch of settings for how many light samples to do, the quality, how well you want it to encode. You can set it to high or ultra rendered and so on. So you have all of the controls available over here. You're seeing some of the flickering. That's probably the temporal post-filtering right there. So temporal anti-aliasing, temporal filtering always seems to make the weirdest artifacts. Yeah, so that seems to get rid of some of that we saw while we were using it. I don't know. That's one of those dead-end technologies to me. That gets rid of some of the flicker we saw earlier on. Also, you see the performance is in the tank now. It's a balancing act of how you want it to set up and what you want to work with, but all your configuration settings are available right here. So back to the documentation, you're going to notice, again, it walks you through what various different things are, enabling it, setting it up, and so on. There are some visualization tools in there as well, including the debug mode that we just looked at in a moment ago. A little bit of an explanation of what each one of those settings actually does is available here as well. And yeah, that's kind of it. Get you an idea of what it's all at. Now, do realize there are definitely some limitations, so no support for animated materials. This is hopefully later on. Static batching is not supported, which is gonna hurt. This is going to hurt performance to a certain degree. Alpha cutouts are not supported. All triangles are treated as opaque. HDRP and the built-in render pipeline are not supported. It cannot combine with baked GI, so it's one or the other. And they do not expect to change that in 6.7, but may in the future. So just be aware, there are definitely some limitations. There is a reason why we turned off static batching, and I don't know how badly that is going to hurt performance overall, but it's definitely not going to help. So hopefully they get that sorted in the future if it's possible, because as you see, once I turned it up too high, things got a little bit more chuggy. I also don't know the cost of that debug on the speed of things, because that certainly doesn't help. So if we turn that back off, let's see how the performance goes. Yeah, that debug definitely makes it chug. But then again, I do not like the flickering I have going on, and it's definitely slower here as well. So you're going to want to play around with the settings, but also you're going to want to keep in mind this is an alpha product with some alpha product aspects to it. But you can see it very profoundly what difference it makes for the lighting. Yeah, it's definitely, it does not like one of the settings I changed. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. The new global illumination system in Unity 6.7. Do keep in mind, again, this is an alpha. It will get better over time. And if we can get to the point where we don't need to bake shadows, bake light maps anymore or any of those things, that is a lovely day. And that's something that Unreal Engine pulled off with Lumen with some performance downsides, Godot with SDFGI, and now with Surface Cache Global Illumination coming in 6.7, Unity as well. Let me know what you think. Also, it's way too difficult to set this up. Hopefully they get that process sorted to a checkbox somewhere. Let me know what you think. Comments down below.